We're standing next to the Arctic survey boat, sometimes referred to as the Greenland Cruiser. This was a vessel that was carried on board the Glacier, the icebreaker Glacier. And the purpose of this vessel is so when the ship is in uncharted waters and performing survey work, you stop the Glacier, put the survey boat over the side, put the scientists on the survey boat, and the survey boat goes out ahead of the Glacier to make sure that you don't run the Glacier into an uncharted rock. And they did that once or twice and put a big hole in the bow, and that's a little embarrassing to people, you know. Not good for your Navy career to bump into things. This boat was Admiral Byrd's survey vessel. It made 39 trips to the pole, Arctic and Antarctic. Now this survey boat is 40 feet long, and she carries 6 men. And of course it has a heater on board and a generator, so you could go out for a couple of days and you'd stand a 4-hour watch, so you got 3 watch sections. 2 guys would be working the instruments, the survey gear, and the other guys operate the vessel. When Congress gave us the Glacier, we found this survey boat in Curtis Bay, Maryland, where she'd been laying in a field for 15 years. And our volunteers from New Jersey and the Delaware area went down last winter and got the boat out of the field. And we took a portable generator out there and they pumped the water out of it, and they got some heat into the boat, and they got the engine running. And the Coast Guard said, "Oh, you guys are great." So all of the material for the vessel has been donated, and all the labor and the time to restore the vessel has been donated by ex-Coast Guard men, ex-Navy men, and civilians. A lot of people who never served in the military working on the project. So this is the pilot house, and on the starboard side there were 2 berths. One's folded down now. And on the port side, there's nothing here now, but this is where the survey equipment went, all along this side. And so one man would drive the boat, and the other man would be working all the electronic survey gear here. And then forward, down below is a galley, the head, and 4 more bunks. Pretty tight quarters. This hull is designed for this vessel to operate in heavy ice remote from the mothership. So obviously, you know, it's not fun to be sailing along in this boat with ice 10 or 15 feet thick. And if the wind changes direction, that ice can press against the hull. So this hull is designed not to cave in when you get that pressure. If you were out in those conditions in a modern yacht, you go poof, just like that. The USS Glacier, or the USCGC Glacier, that's a Navy Glacier and a Coast Guard Glacier, AGB-4, was, by an act of Congress last year, turned over to the Glacier Society. The congressional bill empowers the Glacier Society to refit the Glacier, make her operational, put a special volunteer crew on board, along with scientists, and take the vessel anywhere we want in the world. Currently, the ship is in San Francisco at the Maritime Reserve Fleet. We have volunteer crewmen, men and women, a total of 75, are working on the ship in sections, rotating sections. We've done the damage control work to secure the vessel so when it rains we don't get any water in anymore. We've pumped out all the water, we've cleaned up all the compartments, and we've restored electrical power from the shore power connector through the main switchboard to the forward portion of the ship. And last month we got the generator on the ship running, and we had the anchor windlass turning. So this is a big step in getting the ship ready to get underway. The Glacier is powered by 10 Fairbanks Morse 8 1/4 diesel engines. That's a double opposed piston engine. The pistons fire when they come together. So there's an overhead and an underhead camshaft. And each of those diesel engines powers a DC generator. Total of 10 of those through a switch panel. They feed 2 DC motors. These are 2 of the largest, if not the largest, DC motors ever built. They're approximately 14 feet in diameter. So it's direct drive. The rotator of the motor is connected to the propeller shaft. And that's a DC motor. So you go all ahead full and you reverse the field and the rotor stops instantly and goes the other way. Highly maneuverable. That portion of the power plant, we have inspected it, and all of the wiring and the insulation is in very good condition. So we know that the motors are going to turn. Fairbanks Morse has inspected the diesel engines, and they're in good condition. They need to be overhauled, and because of the long storage. And we need to equip these engines with new state-of-the-art electronic control systems. That'll improve the fuel consumption, and we will automate the engine room so that we can man the ship with a very, very small crew. Next month, we're going back with the same electrical team, and we'll work on the after portion of the ship and get electricity to the steering gear, which of course is the next thing we need to do to get underway. And then we'll get all the ventilation systems running. The next step is we plan to take the ship to a pier near Vallejo, California, and establish dockside power, water, sewer, telephone, crane service, and a warehouse. And we believe that the number of volunteers will jump from 75 to over 200. And that number of people will enable us to complete the ship and get it ready to go to sea. The Glacier Society is a complete volunteer organization. We're asking for people who want to work on the ship to buy a membership. A minimum membership is $25. Of course, some people give $500, $1,000. Our largest contributor has given us $1 million. And major corporations like Kodak, Macromedia, Caterpillar Corporation have given us gifts in kind of the equipment and parts that we need. So we're reaching out to everybody to make this a true volunteer effort and have everybody come and share the experience. We intend to sail the ship from San Francisco nonstop over the northern pole to London. And all of the people who support and work on the ship and make gifts, of course, will be on the invitation list to make this historic voyage. And